Right. So today we will be starting with this module 5 RTOS and IDE for embedded system design. Right. For a period of time you will be understanding what is the requirement at the software level, how it is organized, right? What are the different types which is available? So these are the concepts which we will be dealing in detail in this module 5. Yes, we have a discussion on this part. Okay. So we'll start with this operating system basics. So you will be aware about what is operating system. System, everyone generally will be having a information that is a OS which will be installed into an hardware and it will function. But what it will do, how it is organized, that is a important part which you have to understand as a design engineer. Okay. So operating system acts as a bridge between the user application and application task and the underlying system resources through a set of system functionalities and services. Okay. You are organizing some OS and that organization should be in some particular procedure, right? And when you follow this procedure, definitely you are going to get the output at the hardware level. That is what it is expected. Okay. The OS manages the system resources and makes them available to the user application task on the need basis. So whenever I require some application, I will click on that one and it should be serviced. You might have been observed when we are using Microsoft Word or a PPT presentation, when we are opening, it is taking some amount of time. So it is searching where is that document, how it should be opened, whether it is supporting or not. Though all those procedures it will come into picture. Right? So the primary function of this operating system is make the system convenient to use, organize and manage system resources efficiently and correctly. Right. So we have hardware, we have cable, we have connected, everything is fine. We have given input, yeah, but it is not functioning. So there should be someone when it should act based on your input. That is what it will do. And it should be very easy. Right. So you observe that when I do a presentation or when I take a class, so everything it is available. Like internet, there is a Wi-Fi Ethernet part or there is a mobile phone. So if there is a problem, I will be able to connect. So laptop connection I will be doing with a charging point. So if there is no charging point or if there is no power supply and if my laptop is shutting down, then I will immediately log into my mobile device and I will take the class. Right. So in this way we are making comfortable so that and with I'm not losing any time. Okay. That precious time I am saving. That is what it is expected and it is very easy to connect. See, I'm not. Yesterday also, when I was asking a student to do a presentation, I had given only time of 10 to 15 minutes. But they wanted to explain, they wanted to connect. There was some issues and all those stuff, and it almost took around more than 1 hour time because it was not convenient for them to use these things. Okay, and there was some issues which were there which we have to resolve. Right. Now, as a faculty, I may allow you, as a department, you will be doing. But same thing if it is happening during interview time. Okay. So company people, they will tell, we will schedule online interview for you people. And online, if you are not connected and if there is disturbance, then what happens? He will clearly reject. So who is in loss? Yourself. So you have to make sure everything it is perfect. Right. It should be very easy to log in, log out, right? Adding a device. And during that time, you should not have, sir, wait a minute, sir, I will switch on my laptop, I will connect internet. So when we suggest to you, it is mandatory that you should be ready with all these things. Sir, I'm not having cable. I am not able to connect. So those reasons you should not give as a professional. Is it or no? It should be very easy for you people. Right? Now you may be not thinking it as seriously. Right? Because what maximum you will lose? You will lose marks. Apart from that, anything you will lose? No. right? Even then also we will not deduct any marks. Okay, whatever how much you present, how much you are presenting, based on all this parameter we will check and we will provide. That is there. Okay, so these are the few examples which I need to share to you. So make the system convenient to use. Here, making system convenient to use, making the system convenient means every hardware it is placed properly and there is no overlapping, and it is very easy to use these interfacing devices. That is the meaning what is trying to address. Organize and manage the system resources efficiently and correctly. Right. So all the resources I need to use efficiently. Like I'm having a PPT, if I want to write, so that also I should be able to do. I should write, I should explain, I should do all those stuff so that my maximum information it will reach to you. That is the thing which we have to do. And efficiently, I have to use all the things like video lectures, all those stuffs and everything I should provide so that you will understand the things. Now, this is the operating system architecture. So, hardware architecture we have observed, ARM architecture we have observed. What is this OS architecture? So, you might have been knowing there are two types. One is hardware, one is software. So, hardware part you have known, right? Hardware part you have very comfortable. One second. Able to hear me or no? I need a response.
Yes,
Yes.
sir. You are audible.
Okay, fine. So hardware part it was there and software part it is there. Hardware architecture it is what was with respect to the hardware devices which we are adding, interfacing. So that architecture we were learning what is the how much should be my data bus, what should be the, my control information and all those stuff. Now here we are dealing with the software part. So software part we have to know about the OS. Okay. So obviously when I buy a laptop, so OS it will be not installed. He will tell sir I want to install Windows 10, genuine Windows 10. The cost of that one will be around 7,000 rupees. I will install OS duplicate copy, evaluation copy. For that cost will be around 300 rupees. Right. So that OS when you install into this device, then it will function. So you'll be knowing what is the software part. Now in that software part, we are having multiple units. Like we have a memory unit, we have a process unit, we have a time unit, we have file system management unit, we have IO system. So whenever a input or output device is attached to your processor, so there is a link here. So the OS will recognize that some hardware device has been attached to this peripheral. Okay, so those things will be managed by this IO system management. File system management is with respect to the driver circuit, the hardware requirement. So the supporting file, whichever it will be there in this file system management. The time management, so you will be scheduling the time it should process, because by default there are some application which will be running continuously, like your date and time in your laptop, right? That you cannot change it. Now physically if there is a problem in changing the date, that you can do, but the OS when it was installed at what time, what are the files which have added and everything, you can check at this time management. Then process management, so when I am opening any file, when I am opening any application executable file like software, when I open, so it should process that data, right? So that information is carried out by this process management. Then we have memory management, when I am downloading some information. So usually when I download anything from the in the laptop, it will directly go and sit into the download folder. Okay, if I wanted to download some any YouTube video, so YouTube downloader is there, it will check ask me where you wanted to download. Usually it will be in the download section or in the document section which will be present. So why it is going and sitting into that particular location? So it will ask to you whether where you wanted to store, whether you wanted to store in this C drive, whether you want to store in the D drive, whether you wanted to store in documents, whether you wanted to store in download or desktop. So all these things you can manage at this memory management. And complete this complete box, we call it as a kernel services. What is this kernel? Kernel is the author name who has identified this one, and he has named, given this software part his name. Okay, and this information I learned when I was studying operating system. I was knowing about these information, right? Then finally above you will be having user application. So user application, it is for me who is opening the laptop, I'm opening a file, so it should be supporting that value, right? Then about all this kernel, you are having this underlying hardware. So this hardware, it should support to your OS which you do. See, hardware, if I am having 32-bit processor, OS if you upload 64-bit processor, then it will not work. Okay, means it will not function properly. Here you can observe that my PPT, it is open in a full screen. For few people, they are not able to open full screen in their device because it is not supporting. So these are the issues which are there, right? And this is the architecture which you are going to learn. And you can observe there is a interface between this kernel and user application, and this we call it as a application programming interface, or generally we call it as a API. So this figure gives an insight to the basic components of an operating system and their interfaces with the rest of the world. So how we are going to communicate. So we have Ethernet cable, we have USB drive, we have DVD drive, we have Bluetooth technology, we have Wi-Fi hotspot, Wi-Fi technology, everything it is connected to your hardware for your laptop. For that you require parallelly a supporting software also to enhance to observe it properly. Suppose say I have written program and I have built a website. Now that website I have designed for my screen, which is 15-inch screen. Okay. Now that app, if I want to open in mobile phone, that mobile phone also it should support. Otherwise what happens? All it will be overlapped. So it is not easy for us to read information which is present in a 15-inch screen to a mobile phone, right? So it should be mobile compatible, right? In mobile phone also you use browse and everything, and they will give an option of use desktop version. So how desktop it will be able to view, same thing you can view as it is in the mobile phone also. Obviously when you are doing this mobile or web type of application, you are given option whether you want to go for desktop version, whether you want to go for mobile application version. One header file you will add and everything it will be simple. For mobile version I am not writing separate code, for web version I am not writing separate code. These are the things which you have to observe. Okay, so now we speak about this kernel. So what is this kernel? The kernel is the core of operating system and is responsible for managing the system resources and the communication among the hardware and other system services. Kernel act as an abstraction level between the system resources and user application. So what is this abstraction level? Abstraction level is nothing but the initialization level where you define all your inputs and outputs. So when I want to run program, when I want to execute some program, I require input, I require data, and I require some output where it should be displayed. Okay, so you take example of VTU result. So it will give a link, it will be open. You have to type USN, you have to submit it, you will get the result and it will be in order. Okay, you observe the subject results, everything it will be in order like 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68. These are your lab codes which I am telling, and it will be in order. One people will get 61, another people will get 68. It is not there because you have arranged in a such a way that it will go and sit in a properly, and with this software only you are able to do it. Otherwise what happens? It will be a hectic task to arrange all these information. right? It will be following some procedure, right? That is what I was addressing. Okay. Kernel contains a set of system libraries and services. So it will be having all your header files, all your standard input output pins, every interfacing, how much memory is allocated, what is the size of that, everything it will be there and present in this kernel part. So when I open that kernel part, everything it will have a clear picture. Okay, so for a kernel, for a general purpose OS, the kernel contains different services. Like we have process, primary memory management, file system management, IO system management, secondary storage management, protection system, then we have a interrupt controller. These are the services provided by each, sorry, these are the each of the services provided in the kernels which have been listed here. Now in detail we will be going with what this process management will do. What is this primary management will do. So one by one we will keep on discussing about these things. So first we'll start with this process management. So process management deals with managing the processes and tasks. Okay, so I'll just open you this part. I'm escape giving a escape button. I'm minimizing this one. So now you observe it is my desktop. So I will give Control Alt, uh, this Control Alt Delete. Okay, so you can observe that Task Manager. Okay, so this is my task manager which is open. So now you can observe that Google Chrome I have opened. So it is giving. So what is CPU is giving 42%. How much memory it is taking 64%. What is the disk size which is going to take? What is the network speed? What is the general purpose unit which is going to give? What is the engine which is going to use? What is the power usage? What is the power usage transmission? So for this Google Chrome, this is the thing which I have taken. See, for each instant everything it is recorded. So these are the different application. I have opened Microsoft Office. See how much memory. See, you see what is the disk. Now you see when I open this Microsoft Office, my network it is 0 Mbps. So I am not transmitting any information. But you see this Google Chrome, my information is transmitting as 0.1 because I am not utilizing it is right. So there is a Microsoft team, right? So these are all your backend process. So host process for setting synchronization, host process for Windows task, right? Cyberlink rich video, that is also one of the app which I'm going to use. So at the back end so many things are running, right? So these are all the processes which are running live now in my system. So when I go for this performance, so you can see how much, what is the utilization, what is the speed, what is the process, what are the thread, what are the handles, what is the uptime, what is the time which is running, right? What is the base speed, what are the socket, what are the layer, what is the cache memory. See CPU how much it is processing. See all these things it is able to grasp. So if I go for the memory, so how much I am going to use, what is the disk size, right? What is the Wi-Fi, how much internet I am going to use, what is the general purpose unit, right? So these are the things with respect to the performance. App history, right? So I have used clock, calculator, camera, right? Different software which I am going to use. So startup, what are the things which is been present, what are the users, right? So how many users, now only I am using this one laptop. So my user admin I am given my daughter name. That is why you can observe here Savika Patke. If one more login if it is there, it would have been placed here. Then what is the services, how much it was there, how much it was disabled, when it was active. So every information you can observe here. See all executable files which is running. See these are all user friendly. We will observe only the graphical user type, right? So you can see LMS, you can see this software export and everything, right? So these are the services which will be running. Runtime stop, see here still it is running, okay, which are not closed. See here Bluetooth, it is running because I have connected my earbud or earbud, whatever you tell, that is there. So you can observe. So this is a task manager where we can observe all these information, right? So that is what we are trying to highlight here. The process management is setting up of a memory space, loading the processor code into the memory space, allocating system resources, scheduling and managing the execution of the process, setting up and managing the PCB, which is your process control board. It is not printed circuit board, it is process control board. It is not hardware, it is the software part which has been present here. Intel process communication and synchronization, termination, deletion, etc. These are the things present in the process management, right? Then we have, there are two. Memory management is general. What in this primary management, again we have two. One is primary, one is secondary. Memory management is different and storage management is different. Okay, so in primary memory management refers to the volatile memory, which is your random access memory, where processor are loaded and variables are shared. Your associated data with each processor are storing your information. See, when I open my Gmail also, I'll just open this. See, I'm opening this my mail. So already my account is created. If I just click on this one, so already username and password, it will be there. So for this one, where you are storing that memory. So if I click on this password type, okay. So I'll just open it. I'll take this one. I'll give password. I think it will be somewhere here, this point. Settings I should go. Sorry, here I should go and give, right? So here you can see autofill password, right? So which are the autofill, everything we can observe here, privacy and security things, right? So I am giving this one, I am enabling this one. So synchronizing with service, manage your Google account, importing bookmarks, everything. Now password, if I just click on this one, so every information you can see. So for this website, this is a username and this is a password. See, for all my things it is there. So how it is storing, auto-filling all the information, right? So never save. So these are the, so website where I am not saving my password. So this is what he is trying to tell. Means which way, in which memory you are going to store your data. That also will be a primary factor. Okay. The term primary memory refers to the volatile RAM memory associated with the processor variable sharing your data. Memory management unit, which we call it as a MMU, of the kernel is responsible for keeping track of which part of memory area is currently used by which processor, allocating and deallocating memory space on a need basis. We call this as a dynamic memory allocation. Right. Now usually for all the application we use a static memory allocation like a Google form. Now Google form, when I give, so you are uploading all your information, it is going and storing in particular folder. Okay, and all my data will be stored into that folder. That is a thing which is present. Okay, so dynamic allocation will also be present. Now dynamic allocation example is your internet banking. So you are writing username and you are giving a password. So during that time it will allocate a memory for you for utilizing your thing. So it will not be in a static point. Okay, that is what you can observe in these things. Okay, so primary memory management, these are the features which we have. Then we have with respect to the file system management. So file is a collection of a related information. It will be having a source code, it will be having a executable code, text file, image files, documents and all those stuff. I'll just show you one example which I usually do. Right. So this is a FileZilla client operation. Right. So this is what I do. I think I have explained this once earlier also. Okay. So this is a portal, right? FileZilla is an app. So I will give it as what I will connect TCT. This is a web portal. This is a host protocol, username, password. I am connecting. Okay. This is one example which I wanted to share to you. Now you observe that this is local site. So this data, whatever it is present here, so this data is present at my device. So local site means my laptop will contain this folder. And this is remote site. So remote site indicating this is at the user website part. So here also I am having these information. So whatever changes I do in my device, if I transfer that information into a remote device, so that will be applicable. I'll just show you. This is a website. Okay. So this is our IRT.in. Okay. This is the portal. Right. You can observe that this is the thing. So now this is a remote site. Means what? Whatever I changes I do, it should applicable here. Okay. Now this is the thing. And whatever this data is present, like this image is there, this images are there. You are finding here. Okay. So you can observe here. This is about us. This is accommodation file. This is call for paper. This is committee. So here you can see picture library. So whatever it is there, it is at the remote site. And this whatever it is there, this is at the local in the laptop. So where it is stored, so you can see this is stored in E drive and there is a folder IRTCT and there I'm having this HTTP doc. Okay, so I'll open here. I'll go for my drive, which is E drive, and here I am having this IRTCT site. I'll take this home page. Now home page is this one. Okay. It is index.html. So in the notepad, I will get, I will change this 2021 is there, right? I will change this 2021 to 2022 now and I will show to you in a real time. So what I will do, I will go to this notepad. So it is index. I will search where is the 2021. Okay. So where is the 2021? Okay. So I need to search here. I will go where it is a 2021. So you observe that this is the 2021. What I will do, I will change 2021. I will put it as 22. Okay. I will save it. And what file it is? Index.html. So I will go here. This file, it is there in my drive, which is nothing. It is there in my file. So I will go HTTP, right? I will select where I want to copy. Okay. Now here I double click. Okay. I think it is not connected. No, it is connected. So he is asking that this file index.html local drive to the remote drive. Okay. So I am telling it as overwrite. So I will give overwrite. Now I will get the option of, I will get a pop-up window that it has been successfully transferred. I think it is not, no, it is connected. So I'll go to this website and this I will refresh. So you can observe that I have changed. And again I will change 2022 to 2021. I will save it. I'll go to this one. I will select for the remote and I will run this again. Again override, copy. So it will do successful transmission. Then here again I need to refresh. So you can see that it has been changed as 2021. So this is what we are trying to learn here. Okay. I am going with this website part. Okay. I am doing this thing. But actually here the file system management means this is a thing which you have to understand. Okay. So we'll stop as of now. Today I am not giving any quiz. Tomorrow